Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh, y'all can do better. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not that guy. I'm gonna be honest with y'all on a couple of things. I'm not sure how this is gonna go today. I came up here with an idea. The whole last couple of months since I got accepted to speak, I had a plan for what I wanted to do. And then yesterday, after attending some of the sessions, my plan changed. And so I spent this afternoon or this morning redoing this PowerPoint. We're not gonna stay on the PowerPoint super long, but there's a couple of Facebook links on there. If they pop up, great. If I lose internet connection, I'm sorry. Bear with me. I'm kind of winging it right now at this point, but I think you'll see why. First of all, thank you guys very much for coming out. My name is Joe Guzman. I'm the Assistant Program Manager for the City of Corpus Christi Parks and Rec Athletics. I've been in sports programming for quite a long time. This, if you've heard me speak before, either in San Marcos or in San Antonio last year, the first 15 minutes are kind of the same. I'm going to talk about a couple of things. But I'm asking you for a favor, sir, if you don't mind, sir. Do you have your phone with you?
Yes.
Give me 18 minutes. And the 18 minutes hits, tell me to shut up. Because this session is for y'all.
No
Okay?
problem.
This session is for you guys to talk to me and tell me stuff. I'm going to give you a couple of ideas. I'm going to talk about a couple of things here. But then I'm going to ask you guys for stuff. See, we talk about what the future of sports is and talking about all these things. And of course, here we go. The topic I started talking about originally was that I think the future of sports is going to be small-sided numbers. Basically, taking our 6v6 volleyball and changing it to 4v4 volleyball. Adapting from 5v5 basketball to 3v3 basketball. Let's look at it like this, okay? What do parents want? Anybody a parent in here? I saw what you did right there. What was it?
Picture.
They want the picture, right? They want the likes. Yes, sir. What do you think parents want? Or not? Okay. They want what?
They want the kids to be included.
They want to watch their kid play. What do coaches want? Anybody know?
To win.
I asked that question all over the state. No one ever says fun. If this thing falls off, bear with me. I move around. If I fall off, I'm sorry. I know parents, they want that Instagram photo. They want that TikTok moment, right? Let's be honest. If your kid scores 5 goals in a soccer game, but you lose 10-5, are you really pissed off that you lost? You know, your kid did your thing, right? You get to throw that on TikTok, you get to throw it on Facebook, and then you get to spend the next 3 hours scrolling to see and refreshing how many people like this. Because there's a lot of parents out there for some reason think that their ability to parent is solely based on their kid's sports ability. And we know it's not true. And I think as we get further and further along, the next generation of parents and the next generation of players has different expectations. What I'm seeing now is we want to have touches. That's why I talk about it in sports, right? I'm a soccer coach. I've been a soccer coach for over 30 years. And asked how a big heavyset guy in Texas decided to coach an outdoor sport takes place in the summer, I don't understand. But I've been doing this since I was 15 years old. And my players are okay. But then when we play real competition, I realize how far behind we are. And the reason we're so far behind is because my players don't get touches in meaningful situations. Who gets the least amount of touches in the game? The goalie, right? How about any other sport? Who gets the least amount of touches? Right field, that's it. The kids who need the development the most are the kids who get the least amount of opportunities. I'm going to start a 4v4 volleyball league in Corpus Christi probably in May. And why are we going to go 4v4? Smaller court. Now what? More touches, right? Because that poor little 6th grader who's never played volleyball before goes to serve for her first time. What does she do? She serves it where? Into the net, right? So now she's got to wait 6 rotations to come around, and when she comes back around, what does the coach do? Pull her out, right? So how many serves did she get that day? 1. Why would she stick around and play that? Why would any kid right now stick around and play sports? I'm going to ask you a question. Don't raise your hand though. I think I know the answer. In the keynote speakers yesterday, in your sessions yesterday, in your session today, how many people have seen this part of people's foreheads? And I know why, because what are we doing? We're on our phones, right? My boy Andy over here is recording me on my phone right now, otherwise I'd be over here doing the same thing. Why? We're conditioned to have it. And we're professionals. We're here because our bosses told us to be here. But we're professionals, we have to pay attention, we're supposed to be respectful. And what do I see? And for a few minutes I stopped seeing that because my head does the same thing. And I'm not even answering emails, I'm just looking through Twitter. Why? Because it's there. So if us as professionals are struggling with that concept, how do we expect a 9-year-old who has grown up with a screen in front of them their whole lives to adjust? I got a 9-year-old nephew. In my family, we're not the most athletic guys in the world. He's not a big sports guy. I say, hey, we're gonna play basketball. And what's he do? It's hot. You better play 2K. I understand that. So now I say, hey, guess what? You're not gonna play basketball, you're gonna play baseball. And where are you gonna put him at? Right. And it's 97 degrees and 80% humidity and there's bugs and stuff out there, right? He's like, this is terrible. So he doesn't practice. So when the ball gets hit to him about one time, what does he do? What the hell am I supposed to do with this? He gets the bat, guess what happens? 3 pitches, he knows what's gonna happen. And the next time he comes to bat, what happens? He gets subbed out for the second worst kid. Why would he stay out there? The competition that we face in sports now is dramatically different than the competition that we had when we were growing up. How many of y'all were athletes at one point in your life? Almost all of us, right? And what did we do? We worked on our game because we didn't have anything else to do. How old are you, sir?
25.
I got a goldfish older than me, bro. His generation, I'm 47. When I was 25, I didn't have a phone, I didn't have a switch, I didn't have anything. I had a ball and a stick. I sat outside and threw the ball against the wall and hit it way back. That was fun. I wanted to be a basketball player. That was my dream. I was going to play for the Spurs. I was good to go. Realized I was Hispanic. I couldn't jump. I couldn't dribble. They didn't come calling. And I don't think they're going to come calling this year either. We can't compete the way we did if we don't change the way we think. I want to change our sports, and I want to put smaller-sided opportunities for players, because I want every player to have that chance to shoot, to score, to do all the fun stuff. Anybody here ever seen a candy called Just a Good Piece, Just a Good Bit? It's a little waffle cone candy. It's like that big, it's a bag of 20. And just, have you seen it? It's just the very bottom piece of the waffle cone. And they're excellent. I want to give the kids just that part. I don't want the kids to have to go through all the filler, because the filler doesn't compete. If the kids gotta sit outside in the heat all day long, imagine playing catcher at 9 years old with 80 pounds of gear, when the kid can just go and play Xbox for 3 hours. I have another nephew. This kid makes 6 figures a year playing Super Smash Brothers. He's a professional esport athlete. But I got some heads hooked up all of a sudden back there. He's got the sponsorships and everything. He had to retire at 19 years old because he was too slow at 19. How can we compete with on the sport level? I want to take our basketball, I want to go 3v3. I want to take our football, I want to go 4v4, 5v5. I want to give everybody a chance to be quarterback. I want to give everybody a chance to be a receiver. Everybody has a chance to kick. Why? Because who cares? We're not trying to win a 4v4 flag football championship in Parks and Rec, are we? They can go play Texas State, the Select Football League, whatever, for that. If we can keep our students and our athletes engaged, we have a chance to keep them developed. And so I was going to talk about that for a lot longer, but let's talk about something different though. The theme I've seen at this lecture so far, at this institute, has been experiences. We have a really great special events department over in Corpus Christi. They do some outstanding events. And my thinking of programming is always just like, hey, well, we run a basketball league January and February. We run a basketball league April and May. We run a basketball, whatever. Maybe it's changed. Maybe there's an opportunity for us to take those events and add more to it. I'm going to go over a couple ideas here with you. There's a couple of Facebook links in here. They may work, they may not. I don't know. It's a crapshoot. We'll see. But then I want to ask you, what's working for y'all? And what's not working for y'all? And if you hear something that's not working for somebody, but do you have a solution? Help them. Let's talk. Let's share some ideas. Let's have an exchange today. Because We just had lunch, and there's ice cream waiting for us next. So let's stay engaged here, and then we go out and get the ice cream, and then tomorrow we all get back home and take all these ideas back with us. Do you know what this picture is right here? The, I don't have one here. Those guys right there. You know what that is? Huh? Speak up. Talk. Those people are being so loud over there, you gotta yell at me.
3-on-3 basketball.
Kind of. But it's sponsored by the Phoenix Suns. That's grown man fantasy camp. They pay $2,000 for 3 days, and they get to be an NBA player for 3 days. And they go through the drills, they go through the coaches, they go through all the stuff, they play a game on the actual, whatever the Phoenix Suns arena is, right? It's a great revenue source. But that's an experience. That's something that you'll tell your kids about. That's something that you'll post on social media. That's something that you may not ever get a chance to go to. So here's what we did. I have a bad habit. My eyes are bigger than my stomach, if you ever heard that saying before. I get an idea and I just keep snowballing it until it's too much. I'll see if this video works. If it does, great. If it doesn't. Yeah, 50-50 chance, so bear with me. You're not gonna have to see the whole thing, just. If you can't hear the music, it's the Champions League theme.
Can't see it.
It's working over here. Let's see if it works. David, any suggestions?
Stop presenting on PowerPoint,
Okay.
and then it should pop up with the video.
I have no idea how to do that. Huh.
Let me see if I can get it for you.
If you can, I'm an old man, bro. I don't know any of this stuff anymore.
You know it all.
What's that? This is considered the admission part of the program? Tell you what, I'll just describe it to you. I'm running low on my 18 minutes. I'm a soccer coach again, right? And I had these guys come to our gym one day, and there's a bunch of guys who just graduated from Corpus Christi. And some of these guys would play college ball, some would play semi-pro, whatever. And a couple of guys didn't come work for me. And they said, hey, we're back in town. We're gonna hang out, we're back for Christmas break. I was starting my indoor soccer. There we go. If you start from the beginning there.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Stay there, there's like 3 more videos. Might need to up Again, the Champions League theme is in there, right? Let me go for like 30 seconds mark if you don't mind. Yeah, it's close enough. We're good. I told you guys I'm winning this today, right? Bear with me. And when you put me in my evaluation, take that into consideration. That's good right there. Hang on for 1 second. I wanted to walk out with the little kids, like they do in the Champions League, right? I couldn't find those little kids to do it though. We threw this together like in a week, because these guys came into my office and said, hey, we're in town, right? Let's do an all-star game. And let's do it the week before our actual indoor season starts. And we invite all of our teams in there. You can't really see it in the gym too much, but there's a lot of our youth teams in there watching. Go to that next picture if you don't mind, on our point there. Yeah, right there, perfect. 2001 in Philadelphia, the NBA had their All-Star game. And the East wore white uniforms, the West wore black uniforms. But everybody wore their own individual team uniform. It was a really neat collage of it, right? So the idea was for these guys to go back to their high school, and the white team grab a white jersey from their high school, and the dark team grab a dark jersey from their high school. We couldn't pull it off in the time frame we had, but this event was such a success that we're going to do another one in the summer, and that's the idea. And so you'll see kids with different high schools on their chest, but they're all white for one team and all dark jersey. The event, we just screwed up. It was Thursday night right before the season started. It was right before, between Christmas and New Year's. This is how it ended. Here's that next video right there. Just click on that right there. In overtime, the white team won. And they get a dog pile. And these are guys who never really met each other until like before. It was an intense game. Think about it like this though. Those parents who went to watch, they got to see their kids play another competitive game, maybe the last competitive game ever. Those little kids who came to watch got to see some of our best players playing there. That event worked for us. Threw it together, hodgepodge, kind of like this presentation's going. We made it up as we went along. We figured it out. Some bumps, some hurdles, right? Go to the next slide, sir, if you don't mind, please. Yeah, go to that first one right here. Who's ever heard of floorball? If you went to my presentation in Dallas, I talked about floorball a little bit. This is floorball, real quick. It's basically a safe version of floor hockey. And you can tell we don't cut corners because we use the best tables we have available as boards. Go to that next one more video. There's one more there. That's my uncle running around right there really slow. I had to throw him in there. There. Floorball is really neat. I'll talk about it later on. But this is what it looks like from a GoPro. So floorball. If you want information about that program, let me know. I was able to. There's one more picture, so if you don't mind. After that.
Next slide.
Yeah, please. Thank you. I wanted to create the NHL Winter Classic. Anybody heard of the Winter Classic for the NHL? The outdoor. Remember this when it first started? It was really big. 2 NHL teams would play outdoors somewhere. What a great idea. Let's take floorball. We have a pavilion on the beach. We'll do a floorball game. New Year's Eve day, same day as the New Year's. We'll get some food trucks, we'll get a DJ out there, we'll do the whole thing. Not a single part of it happened. Nothing worked. Why? The surface was too slippery, it kind of rained. We didn't have actual boards for the floorball rink, and taking tables out there looks tacky. So some of your best ideas don't work. Don't work. That's my information. Where am I at, sir?
You are at 148.
48.
148.
So 18 minutes exactly?
Mm-hmm. 1 minute 42 seconds left.
Okay.
You'll hear the buzzer go.
I can go through that.
You'll hear the buzzer.
We do things. What's the last innovative program that you've tried at your city? Anybody? Give me something.
Disc golf.
Disc golf? How'd it go?
0 restrictions.
Zero participants or zero? Nobody? Why?
Flyers around, those in our newsletter. I don't know why. Maybe it could be where my rec center used to be. Because we usually, that rec center competed against like a lot of like Lone Star and other programs.
Where are you from?
Austin Parks and Rec.
Austin Parks and Rec, and disc golf didn't work in Austin Parks and Rec.
Because they're used to it being free.
That's a good point. How much did y'all charge?
It was just $10.
I'm from Austin. I'm from Lockhart. There's so much green space in Austin. You'd think this golf is a natural right there, right?
You figured.
What's an idea? What's a way we can improve disc golf for somebody? Who else does anybody do disc golf?
No, but
Huh?
we have a disc golf course in Smithville where I'm from, and it's used all the time. Even the little kiddos would come out and they would, now it's not one of my programs, but I do know that they use the disc golf course along with maybe a parent or something like that. I don't have it as one of my programs, but maybe it's something I could think about trying to put together.
So I know in Austin, in Corpus, I just talked to a lady who does the PE programming for the Corpus Christi Independent School District, and they're going to do disc golf because we have a few. Appreciate it, sir. We have a few decent disc golf courses, and so they focused on the children. So they're taking their PE field trips to go play disc golf. So that's an area that they've been able to get their people into. Now for Parks and Rec programming, we haven't done anything with disc golf. The chain break, the basket breaks will help fix it sometimes, but other than that, they're kind of on their own. Leads to another problem though. How many of you have facilities or leased out or rented out to everybody, somebody, whoever, and those tenants think that facility is theirs now? A lot of hands went up on that one. So the disc golf course that we have is ran by Parks and Rec, but we don't program out of it. We don't do a disc golf program. So who does it? It's a Facebook group, 361 disc golf or whatever. It's theirs. That's their course. Well, really, it's not. Y'all can use it. We won't charge y'all. Open area, public. But they have invested some money into it. They fixed up some of the baskets, some of the tee boxes. So what do they think now? I have 2 gyms in Corpus Christi. One's pretty nice. The other one is small. We don't have a multi-use facility like a lot of y'all have. If anybody has one of those multi-million-dollar grants laying around, please hit me up because, man, I know those are everywhere, right? We could use it. We have a gym that gets rented out. It's not even big enough for an actual high school game, I don't think. But the guys who rent it, they rent it almost every weekend. They run tournaments out of it, and they get mad at us when we run our own programming out of it. So the first 2 weeks of winter, January and February, the first 2 weeks of summer, June and July, I run my indoor soccer programs on Sunday. And our indoor soccer program for this year was probably one of our highest grossing programs. I had 44 teams. And we play all of our games on Sunday. We just play every 45 minutes. We go bang, 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 bang. This guy is mad at us. Oh, I was going to have a tournament. Okay? It's our gym. Well, we rent it every weekend. Well, for the next 8 weekends, we're not. And he's mad at us for doing our own programming there. How about your baseball fields?
Oh my God.
Right? Softball fields. So we don't run baseball at Corpus Christi Parks and Rec. All of our baseball facilities are leased out to little leagues. If you call me for a baseball field, I can't help you. I can give you the phone number of the organization, but I can't really, Is that an issue for you guys? How do y'all deal with that? Because I don't know. I don't have an answer for it because I don't have the facilities there to give everybody everything. So I say, hey, you rent it this week, he's gonna rent it next week, they're gonna rent it the following week, but you don't own it. And when we gotta close it down for our own programming, don't have the gall to get upset with us. Because then what happens? He starts calling me the following week, how you doing at the gym? It's busy. It's full. I'm sorry. We give them such a discounted price, it's so cheap, they make so much money off it. I don't understand how to fix that though, because we don't have facilities. And in the facilities we do have that are leased out, they've been leased out to those programs for 20, 30, 40 years. I don't think I have a contract on my books right now that is actually current. I want to say I went through all my lease agreements in the last few months. The last time they were updated was like 2017, 2012. We were charging teams like $4 a field. So these people come in now with an attitude of, that's our field. Why are you making changes on our field? But when it breaks, it's our field. Right? When it breaks, that scoreboard goes out, guess what happens? Hey, we need y'all to fix this, we need y'all to fix that. Especially you told me it was your field. Yes, sir.
So I'm curious, with your lease agreements, does it give them exclusive usage of the field and that all other programming has to go through them?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that that's the only league that can use that facility. But no in the sense that if we need it for Parks and Rec programming, we have priority on it. But I can't go to a little league and say, hey, y'all can't play these next 3 months because I'm going to do something here. I can do it technically by the law, but the public perception is going to kill me. Because all the mommy and daddies will be run off for those 3 months. They're voters. So I'm not gonna win that argument. We don't have, so here's what we're changing. We're changing that now. Our new lease agreement is gonna say, you have this facility from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. 901 hits, public land. So now what happens? How about this problem? What if you only have one field with lights? Who wants that? Who gets that? Whoever calls first. So we have a park called Salinas Park. And I'm kind of in a tough situation because I coach at Salinas Park, but I also manage the lease of Salinas Park as well. We just now got lights there. For the first time, it's the only lit soccer field in Corpus Christi. So who wants to play on that soccer field now? All of the people who didn't want to play there before when it was not lit. So we're having practice, right? You know how soccer league is, right? We have 15 teams out there on the multiple fields and stuff like that. And what's happening? Adult men's league is coming over. We want to practice here. Youth Pee Wee football is coming over. We want to practice here. Baseball is coming over because we want to practice because there's lights now. And how do we run them off? What do we tell them? Well, it's lease to lease people now. Well, we're just going to go stand over there and play. How many of your park enforcement people work at 8 p.m.? Who am I going to call? We get handcuffed with those things, right? So there's no solutions, man.
I was gonna ask her, do they, the ones that they do they maintenance the fields?
So that's
What are you doing with the now?
that's the new change. That's the new change for us. They're not going to do maintenance anymore. We're going to do maintenance. We're going to handle all of it. We just hired 13 park tech crew guys. And we just spent a whole lot of money on new equipment and all sorts of tools. And we're buying something every month. We're buying a new tractor, new trailer, whatever they need. I don't even know if I should tell the story or not. We came to Corpus Christi and my business card was very, very slim because we've been buying all these things, fertilizer and grass and all these things here. We came to the conference here and I go, I don't know if I have enough money on our card to put gas. I go, the first of the month's coming around. I lived that life before. I know how it works. First of the month on Friday morning at midnight, I go put gas right there. So whatever the park tech crew guys want, we get it. You want new grass? Boom, we get it for you, whatever y'all want. But with that, every league now is going to be in that situation to where when your lease time is over, public land. So how about this situation now? Sir, you have a baseball facility that you've been running for 25 years, yes sir, right? And when you leave that facility, your team leaves the facility, what do you do at night? Lock it up, right?
Well, we used to lock them up, not anymore.
Why not?
Our constituents complained.
The constituents that were playing in the league or the constituents that were not?
Because constituents in the world complained, why do we have them locked up? We just went, through a situation recently where we have actual baseball field, softball field, football field across the street from the high school. In a partnership agreement with the high school, because it's our land. We had a real nice gate in front, very beautiful. So we had to go in there and open up gates. They wanted open land. They didn't want nothing locked up. The only thing that's helping us there is that we do have our park rangers that come out and patrol at night and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this question right here, right? That's your little league, for example, right? That's how do you pronounce your name, sir? That's about little league over there, right? You're doing the maintenance on it, right? Okay, you're taking care of the lights, you're taking care of the trash, you're taking care of the fence when they break, whatever. And now, at 9 o'clock, when you're done, and it has to stay open, I want to bring my baseball team out there. And we're not paying anything, we're not contributing. And what are we doing? Mess at the dirt, mess at the grass. And who pays for that? Thank you for paying for my team to go practice. Are y'all facing that situation? Talk to me, sir.
In Taylor, our physical block, so somebody called on the youth, they call me. In Taylor, our physical block, if they want to use the ball field, then you in the community, you gotta call the league, and if the league tell you no, is no, because they're responsible for what you tore from.
So in that situation, does the league have ownership of those fields? They're just leased out to them. Just leased out. So what happens to when I start my little league and I want to play on those fields?
You haven't talked to the baseball game, so you get to pick up somebody in the league, until you know.
What if the big boss and me aren't like that? We're not tight.
You ain't getting it.
I ain't getting nothing, right?
You ain't getting it.
I'm not even getting the parking lot. They say go find one of the school back stuff, right? And what's the school do? They lock that stuff up. When's the last time y'all walked in the track at a school?
Oh.
And I think more, right? All right. So why is the school district allowed to do stuff that the city's not allowed to do, right? It's a big part of it. We're facing these obstacles right here, right? And what I'm learning is it's common. I thought it was a Porpoise thing exclusively until I started coming to these lectures, right? It's everybody. So let's switch it up now. What's worked for you? What are you proud of? Brag for a little bit. Give me something. Who here's from San Antonio? Nobody from San Antonio? All right. Houston? I know y'all got money. Come on, talk to me.
Well, I'm not from the city of Houston. We're actually in the Houston area, so I'm from Siena. We have about 11,000 homes in our community. I think one of the big things that we implemented, so for all of our youth leagues are actually in-house and I run them. And one of the big things that we implemented in the past year was actually utilizing a draft.
Okay.
And I know it's not really on the topic of kind of what we've been talking about, but one of the biggest complaints every year was that, you know, once my team finished evaluations and tried to sort the teams as best as possible, the coach in every division that was at the bottom of the totem pole, you know, was saying, hey, these teams are unfair, you think these teams unfair. And in addition to that, we had a lot of requests for carpools, playing with friends. Can I have this assistant coach? And you can't pick and choose, you know, okay, well, I'll let this coach do this because they all talk. They're all on Facebook or all in their CNA.
But my cousin's brother's nephew needs a ride.
Right.
And I mean, if he's not on my team,
Right.
and then I need to take my sister's aunt's uncle, I mean, he's gonna be the coach. So I need all 10 of these guys on my team for logistical reasons.
Right.
Or neighbors.
And they find a way to explain it.
And every 9-year-old's like 5'11", you know, like shooting on the ball, right?
So basically what we did is we run an in-house evaluation. We invite our coaches out. And then from there, I simply host a Zoom or a Teams meeting. I share my screen. We have our evaluation numbers that we have. We tell the coaches during evaluations, get your own numbers, get your own feel, but we're gonna go based off of our numbers at the draft. And then that gives them the ability to pick friends, to pick carpools, all while making it fair. So essentially we rate them 1 through 5, and we start with the 5s, and we have a few quirks like if you're the coach's kid, obviously, the coach's kid can't be picked, but if we're at that number, if he's a 5 out of 5, that's the first kid you're picking. You know, if he's a 4 out of 5, and we're all out of the 5 out of 5s, that's the first 4 out of 5 you're picking. But that's been something that I haven't received a single complaint since
Really?
I'm a coach. Not a single complaint.
I've never heard those terms, not a single play in Parks and Rec ever.
Real quick side note, I had a friend of mine who had a 9-year-old son, and he didn't draft him first. Yeah.
I just have a question for you. So I've done evals in the past, but we never did the coaches draft. The issue that I had in the past with trying to implement that is we have a big league. So our soccer league has just under 100 teams in it. And a lot of times I'm from the city of Georgetown, by the way, won't have all the coaches in time. A lot of times it's going to the first practice and saying, okay, one of you parents are the coach now, who's going to be? So how do you address that if you don't have all the coaches? Do you then just draft for that team, or how do you handle that?
Again, I'm from, an HOA. So I think like one of our biggest leagues is only a quarter of that, where we have 30 some odd teams. But honestly, a big part of it is all of our coaches are volunteers. They're all parents, and that really helps out for us. We're not paying any of them, but most of them are super excited. The one thing that I'm constantly doing before we're hitting it is letting them know we need coaches deadline at evaluations. And there have been times where I get into the gym and say, hey, look, parents, I need 2 more 6th or 8th grade coaches, or we can't run the league. That's simply how it is. We can't run it. So I need 2 volunteers right now, and I pretty much get them there. I can see how that's probably a bigger issue when you're looking for 10, 20 coaches,
100 over 100 for soccer.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where for us, it's kind of easy to grab those stragglers at the end where all the parents are in the stands waiting for evaluations anyways. I say, hey, look, we need y'all to step up.
Which is crazy because all those parents want to be coaches as soon as somebody else coaches it. Raise your hand if you don't like the referees. Raise your hand if you want to be a referee. True or false? Yes, sir. Talk to me. Where are you from, sir? City of Conroe.
Yeah. We're not
not really common. We're just a city. We're the city north. So we have about 1,400 kids in our youth soccer league, and we completely stopped letting our coaches draft. We said, hey, on your registration, put your friend request and put your days you can practice, and that's the only thing we want to get from you. And what we do is we go through, and after we do evaluations, we draft. And we've actually started keeping track of all of our drafts, or all of our other path evaluations, so we can see like if a kid has changed at all. But what we've told our coaches is, we have 3 maximum friend requests per team, and that's it. We're a recreational league, you can't build a team. If you want to build a team, go play competitive soccer. And if they are drafting behind our backs, then we're not interested in their volunteering services anymore. We can find a parent that is willing to coach a recreational soccer league. So it's a tough conversation, but it's worked out a lot for us.
Let me get to this, Joe, you know, come right back to you. Real quick side note on that. How many of you actually run soccer? Or how many of you have it actually outsourced to somebody else? Because in Corpus, I run my soccer league in Corpus because I'm a soccer coach. We don't run baseball in Corpus, we don't run soccer in Corpus, we don't run flag football in Corpus. And the city, all that's third party. We have Express Soccer Club, we have Santa Fe Soccer Club, we have Highway Soccer Club. Those are all competitive programs with recreation programs elements in it. So if you have a 7-year-old who wants to play rec soccer, they can play at any of those clubs. My soccer league is just the one you saw on the screen a few minutes ago with them running around and stuff. That's my little soccer league. And I don't even take individual registrations for our league. I take team registrations. He brings a team in, he brings a team in, he brings a team in. They're all in the same division. Boom, we're gonna play. And it works for us because we don't have to draft, we don't have to evaluate. They bring in their own jerseys. They all know each other from outdoor soccer. But we don't actually run a lot of our own programming there. We haven't ran baseball, I don't think, ever. But why would we? There's so much competition over there already. We run a high school baseball league. I have to pay an organization to use our own fields. Right? One of our schools gets paid money for us to run our own programming at our own fields. If that's not backwards, sir.
I was going to add to your draft situation. We don't have soccer, but we do it for baseball, and our baseball numbers are close to the same. So we do our trials on a different day than the coaches draft. And on the end of our evaluations, we have all the coaches pretty much sort the kids that they want, just in case they aren't there on the draft day. And then I'll have my attendants fill in for the coaches. And that's how we've done the absent coaches drafts. And that helped us avoid issues, because if they're like, well, my team's not what I wanted, well, that's the names you put on your list. And that's what we went off of. So.
Follow-up question. I only have one part-time assistant so I run youth soccer internally as well as youth basketball and youth volleyball. They're all separate times. We run each one twice per year. But yeah, it's just the two of us that run all the youth programs. So I don't really have the manpower either to run evaluations. So the way we run it is we take registration, and they give us their friend request and the practice day request. Everyone's limited to making 2 friend requests, and it has to be reciprocal. So that way you only can have 3 kids requesting to be on the team at the same time. We keep score in the moment during the game, but we don't record it. There's no standings, there's no in-season tournaments or anything like that. And it's extremely recreational. We tell everyone, if you're wanting competitive, then go play competitive. This is for the kids that want to play for the first time, even in the older age groups. We have a lot of kids playing for the first time. And it's boomed over the last, I've been with the city of Georgetown for 4 years now. And my first season, we had 428 kids in soccer. And this year, we're at 976 in just 4 years.
If you don't take anything else from this session, take away these words real quick, okay? In my opinion, I may be totally wrong here, I'm often wrong. People tell me I'm often wrong all the time, but that's all right.
Got a quick question.
Yes, sir.
So those of y'all that do the draft and the player tryouts and all that stuff, what do y'all do about the kids that sandbag, that do crap you on purpose so that way they don't get high rankings? What do y'all do about that?
Anybody have a 9-year-old that doesn't give his best effort at tryouts and he's not rated here, he's rated here?
And then all of a sudden, this kid's going first round, but yet has a low score, but yet a coach that knows this kid or a player, whatever you mean, now what?
Or vice versa, what if you have a kid not show up? You then tell them, sorry, you didn't show up to evaluations, now you can't play directly?
What if you get that one kid who has like the best day of his life at tryouts? if we're at a point in our lives and in our society right now to where winning a 9-year-old basketball title is your dream as a coach, bro, let it go. Take these words from me, please. Parks and Rec sports should be the safest place in the community for any kid to play. I'm gonna throw some mathematics at you, okay? Your son, top-notch athlete. And my son, not so much. It's $70 for you to register, it's $70 for my kid to register. The bank didn't ask me which kid to register, okay? We take the kid who has nowhere else to go. His son is gonna go find a place to play. He's talented, he's good. There's a million clubs for him to go play. My son, who's scared, who doesn't want to play sports, who's scared of a ball, Parks and Rec sports. Park and Rec sports. That should be the safest place in the world for your kids to play sports. Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
All right, so I'm gonna jump around a little bit and answer your question. So, Georgetown Parks and Rec, you had, so for those kids that coaches tell them to like either 1, don't show up to the draft, or 2, show up to the draft and suck. The kids that don't show up to the draft, I work for the city of Marble Falls outside of Austin, they get thrown in a hat. So you're basically, we classify them with, they get a number for the coaches look, and if they don't end up showing up, we highlight them, throw them in a bowl, and the coach has to draw them. So they've got like say like the stud Jason's in there, he's got like a 1 in 10% chance of, picking him out of the bowl, and we get a crap ton of shit for that. Like, parents are livid, coaches are mad, and I'm like, if you tell your best, 5 kids that you don't want them to attend the coaches look so that you have the best team so you can get first place in basketball, and now guess what, you don't even have the option to, pick them up. So the parents are not only mad at they're not mad at the coach, they're mad at me as the coordinator because those rules are set forth by the league. So, we have a hat, bowl, so basically they have to draw from that. In regards to recruiting volunteer coaches, I've built and fostered a lot of relationships with my coaches, and so those consistent coaches that are going to return each and every season, those are the guys and gals that I go out to first. Like, hey, FYI, basketball, whatever, volleyball is starting up, and usually those guys return and they coach for me each and every season. So 1, they know the rules of the draft. 2, they're valuable coaches within the community. Those are the coaches that, you could have them teach floorball and they'll be like, I'm here, I'll pick up a team. So kind of recruit to those guys, and then I try to recruit ahead of time and be like, hey, here's this upcoming sport. So at the end of the season, let's say basketball just ended for us last week, I'll send them a thank you email, and then at the bottom be like, hey, here's the upcoming sports, let me know what you want to coach, and have them reach out that way. I've got about 12 years in the career, and I started 10 of my years were in Colorado. I had never seen a draft until I transferred my position to Texas. So in Colorado, the majority of the Parks and Recreation leagues are open for Parks and Rec kids. Those kids that don't want to pay $12,000 or $1,200 to, go and play travel basketball, that's what Parks and Rec is. And so we utilize ActiveNet and just put practice, day and time listed online. And then the parents could register that way. We included the coach's information, and they could enroll up into a certain point. Our leagues, I had 1,200 kids in my basketball league, and so we opened registration up to 8 spots, and then we saved those 2 spots for maybe somebody was on a cruise or somebody was on vacation and they missed it, and we could pop them in from our wait list. Our draft process that we have, we just don't have that opportunity. So I think we're seeing a lot of those coaches that are trying to staff teams, or, you know, with us being in Marble Falls, we're in a smaller town, that these are the kids that we want them to play together from rec sports through middle school, because these are the kids that are gonna play together in high school, so they're trying to build those dynasties of some sort. The other thing that I've noticed, and that I've actually done this season, that I've done in Colorado, but volunteerism is an all-time low. We all know that. You can't get people to volunteer in church, you can't get people to volunteer and coach a team, right? So I partnered with Marble Falls High School ISD, and all of my high school coaches are running free coaches clinics for me. They're about an hour and a half. I've got volleyball that happened last night, basketball, we've got soccer, baseball, and softball. So I basically just went to them and were like, I'm struggling getting parents to coach teams, and that's just an open opportunity. It's a free clinic. All they have to do is register online. They show up, take notes, and they literally give us all of their notes and their practice notes and all kinds of skills and drills that they use in the high school that they teach in the clinic to basically levels that they could do from, 6 to 12 years. So I found that that's been beneficial, and that's kind of one of those easy avenues that the parents can kind of cruise right on it and be like, all right, I'll go see what, it entails, and then you've got the high school coach that you're talking to, like, oh, it's really not that bad to teach basketball. So those are a few of the things that kind of helped me.
Thank you very much. That's fantastic information right there. Let's do a draft where the coaches can't pick their own kid. How about that? You think you can coach? Let's see. Anybody can coach LeBron, right? I mean, see what we got. What do you got, sir? We're gonna go one step, Miss. I'm gonna ask one more question to the audience after this. Go ahead, sir.
Hey y'all, my name's Jonathan Weeks. I'm with South Lake Parks and Recreation. We just wrapped up our 142 team winter basketball season. About a third of that was a draft league. The draft league is completely separate from the teams league. I'm sure most people run their leagues that way. A couple things. First, I wanted to say for the draft league and sandbagging, we're really big on you show up to the draft, you play. It's pretty easy to spot a kid that is not trying in a draft, but we also don't do a super extensive draft. They're usually just running like 30 seconds worth of drills, so you're not seeing a huge difference in skill level. But like she said, if you don't show, you are randomly assigned to a team, and we make sure that that is known early and often to any kid, so you are not able to just be selected by a coach because we know that kid. And then the follow-up to that is, once practices are assigned after the teams are built, we don't let a parent come to us and say, oh, I have a change to my availability. I'm only available to this highly specific time that only fits this one coach. Sorry, we're gonna hold you accountable to what you put on your registration form, which says I was available on these days, which fits all of these coaches that drafted based off your availability. So holding them accountable and staying to your guns is a really big deal. And we, this past season, held our guns on several kids, and we only had one refund out of probably 10 that corrected it. So call their bluff. On the coaches recruitment side, I know it's probably heard a lot, but super duper duper proactive communication is really important. If your city doesn't have a robust volunteer network, build your email repository early. But what I've started to do in South Lake is transition the onus of coach recruitment and coach responsibility away from the city onto the parents. So when I communicate out to the teams, I will put all of the emails of the team, so I'll build the free agent team with the 10 kids, put all those emails in the CC line of the email, and I'll put it in there and say, you guys are on free agent team, the Seahawks. We're working on our flag football season right now. You're on a free agent team, the Seahawks. You registered as a free agent team. You guys are built because you guys had similar schools, or you guys had friend requests, whatever it is. It is now your responsibility to find a coach for this team. We will do recruitment efforts on our end, but the best way to ensure quality and speediness is for somebody from this side to step up to the plate. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a parent. It can be somebody from your network that I don't have access to. A college student, a sibling, a friend, a grandparent, something like that. Once you put that in their head, a lot of parents don't think that way. They think it's only me and just me. It's like, no, we'll take a grandpa, we'll take a older sibling that's in college, we'll take a high school senior, they're responsible. You know, we do like pseudo interviews for high school upperclassmen. But once we shifted the onus and had that proactive communication several weeks before the season started that told them, it is your responsibility to find a coach. We are providing the league, but you are responsible for finding the coach. That has completely shifted the mindset of all of our parents. And we're going into our flag football season next week with 75 teams and no coach vacancies. Whereas when I took over this role 2 years ago, we were going into the season with 10 coach vacancies. So it really works when you transition that mindset with your parents.
I personally see what South Lake does with their sports program when we worked with fiscal last year. It's outstanding. You guys did a hell of a job there. I was going to go over one more topic, but you know what? We got ice cream waiting for us. Let me ask you one question before. I'm going to ask you for two things. First of all, how many of you are a high school and or a college graduate? Most all of us, okay? How many of you have some sort of educational award, degree, or something up on your wall? Something in your house, in your office, something that just says, hey, I accomplished X, Y, and Z. Most of us have something like that, right? Somewhere, right? How many of us still have the plaque from when we were in 3rd grade playing Little League football? You have it there? I did too, that's like one of my proud moments, but I still have mine. You kept the trophy still, don't you? Do you still have the plaque, the little participation award from field day? At the end of the day, as much as it matters, it doesn't. As much as the parents are going to complain and gripe at you, it doesn't. What did I say that was missing in the responses when I asked, what do parents and coaches want? Fun. Have we taken the fun out of it?
It's all about fun for the sake.
It should be, right?
It should be.
But all of a sudden, the competition levels got to a point to where it's not fun anymore. If you're not first, you're last. When you leave this session, please go back to your programming, go back to your athletes, and do them the honor of saying, hey, we're going to have a fun program. And some of you guys might win, some of you might lose, who cares, whatever. We'll have another one in 6 weeks. But instill that joy and that passion for sports that we all started with, because that's what got us into this position. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say that I have coached basketball at a bunch of different levels for the last 38 years and spent the last 7 coaching high school basketball. You start talking about trophies, man. I got rid of like maybe 400 trophies just a year ago because I couldn't let them go between me and my kids and stuff like that. And I was never one to coach in the type of leagues that you're talking about because I always had to win. And even at North Carolina where I was, I still had to win, but it was high school ball.
Right.
I left the school district last year after 7 years of coaching ball, and my mindset as a coach, even in the 90s when I coached the rec leagues, was I always had to win. I went to 4 TAF state championships because I always just had to win. I got where I am now at Chisholm Trail, and when I got there, even coming out of high school, my mindset was, we got to turn this into a gym where we create winners. And at 62 years old and watching the people come in that gym day in, day out, just kids that just want to have a good time. I was there about 2 months after 7 years of competitive high school ball and doing all this winning. I was there about 2 months before my mindset completely changed to where all I want at our center is kids that come in and have a good time. Because when I was competitive, people would say, coach here, and I'll be like, nope, if I can't win, I don't want to do it. Which is cool, because there are places they can go.
There's a market for that.
If that's what they want, because that's where I always win. But I see the value in what we do and just having participation.
I want to add on to that because the 20 years ago that he's talking about where it was win or nothing, nowadays, I can go win at Fortnite. I can go win at Minecraft. I can go win on the Xbox. I don't need you. I don't need basketball because I have other things that I'm better at. And if I'm a terrible basketball player, I'm a hell of an esports athlete. And the generation now considers esports as the equivalent of the way we view pro athletes. So them it's nothing different. We're in a very dangerous situation in sports as a mentality, where if it's only win or nothing, we're gonna lose those kids to other things. And once we lose them, that's it. The trophies, do you know who the only person that benefits from the trophies are? The guys who sell them. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna ask you for one last thing, okay? The session I gave at San Antonio and in San Marcos got accepted to nationals in Atlanta, Georgia in October. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor, go onto that QR code, send me an evaluation. Tell me I was good, tell me I was terrible, but give me ways to improve, okay folks? Because as everybody else, I'm still learning. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, hit me up. My information's there. Go get some ice cream. Cheers.